Hi everyone, welcome to week 10 of our Comp 2 class. I apologize for getting this video out later than I normally do. I had some things come up on Monday that prevented me from sitting down and recording it. To start off with, I'm going to read this week 10 lecture. Now that you've completed writing project 2, it is time to begin work on the major assignment of this course, the research project. To begin, you will reflect on the research you have conducted thus far and consider what strengths and weaknesses you have as a researcher. Then you will develop a more formal pre-writing for writing project 3, a proposal. Your proposal will require you to think deeply about your selected social issue and what you really want to discover as part of this assignment. Please read the Writing Project 3 prompt carefully as you complete this work. The assignment sheet can be found under the Writing Projects and Rubrics link on the main menu for our course. So over here on the left, you'll see Writing Projects and Rubrics. That's where you'll find it. But you probably know that by now. While this writing project is the longest that you will write, the major writing project will really come together because of your hard work over the next month. For the next 4 weeks, you need to go through a thorough research process. Collect, review, cut, and read. First of all, collect. You should spend several hours collecting raw information for your paper. Collecting just means that you request sources if you need them, bookmark things, save them, print them off if you have access to a printer. Do whatever you need to kind of collect, compile sources that you think are going to be useful to you, things that you think are going to support your topic and the focus of your paper. With hundreds of thousands of sources available, all you should really be doing at this point is just collecting things. I recommend getting 10 to 15 sources. Now, you're probably not going to use all of those sources, but it's typically good to have more sources than you actually need. So that way you can pick the best of the best and you aren't stuck with using sources that are subpar. Next, review. Once you collect your information, take a few minutes to review each source. Reviewing means you skim a website for 2 to 3 minutes, skim the beginning and end of a scholarly journal for 5 minutes, and skim the introduction and conclusion of a book for 5 to 10 minutes. Those are just kind of rough gauges of about how long you should take to review or skim each type of source. At this stage, the review stage, you are going for efficient. You don't need to be reading full sources really at this point. It should be enough to just kind of skim things over to get a feel for what they're talking about. During the cut stage, you should make a gut decision about each source. If it's helpful and provides lots of useful information, keep it. If it isn't on topic, if it is talking about something else, it doesn't seem useful, or doesn't have many good quotes, just cut it. The 10 to 15 sources that you found in the collect stage can be cut down to like 6 to 10 sources, depending on the length and quality of those sources. And then finally, the last stage of this process is read. So after collecting, reviewing, and cutting, you need to fully read your sources. You should read sources beginning to end that are up to 20 pages long. Anything over 20 pages can be read selectively. So skip sections that don't seem relevant or don't contribute to your argument. But I'm guessing that most of the sources that you're going to be finding are going to be under 20 pages. I would also mark good quotations. If you and everyone has their own kind of way to do this. If you want to handwrite them in a notebook, you could do that. If you want to like copy and paste them into a Word doc or a Google doc, you can do that. But I would start kind of keeping track of the things that you think are going to be useful to you in the paper. Let's see here. Remember that while your sources can be from popular sources as well as scholarly, everything that you use in this project needs to be credible. They should have credible authors or organizations attached to them. They should only be 5 to 10 years old, a max of 20 unless you have a good reason to go older than that. They should have reliable content and should be in a reliable format. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to just check in with me. If you're looking at a source and you can't really tell if it seems credible or not, I can most likely help you out with that. Even though your writing process is weeks away, you're currently laying the groundwork for a successful paper. You should be spending 30 to 60 minutes each day researching, reading, planning, and writing for this paper. 30 to 60 minutes a day should get you through the whole kind of research and drafting process relatively stress-free. This will become decently overwhelming if you procrastinate a bunch and save a lot of things towards the end. But if you kind of space it out, it shouldn't be too difficult of a project. Step 1 of this week, you have some readings here. I would review chapter 47 in the 5th edition book on getting started on research. I'd also take a look at chapter 48, which is on finding sources, and then also chapter 49, which is on evaluating sources. Next, in step 2, you should watch this intro video. This video talks about what you're going to be doing in writing project 3. In step 3, you're going to review the assignment sheet. You can find that here, but again, it is also located over here under writing projects and rubrics. Step 4 and 5 are a couple of handouts that I think will be useful to you. I'm going to say that these are more or less optional. So this first one is on formal writing, how to essentially use formal language in an academic paper. If you feel like you already have a pretty good handle on that, then I wouldn't really worry about this handout. But if I've left comments on your paper about informal language, or that you've struggled in the past with writing formally, I would definitely look at this handout. The other one is about evaluating websites. And so again, this is, you may or may not need this depending on your research experience, but this is a really pretty useful guide for determining if online sources are credible or not. In step 6, you're going to plan for your research. Now that you're ready to begin the final major writing project, take some time and consider how your research has gone so far this semester. First of all, you're going to, in a paragraph each, list 3 strategies from the reading that you find valuable and discuss how they have benefited you or will benefit you. And remember, the quality of your sources will have a huge impact on your grade for writing project 3. Next, discuss your research process for writing project 2, so the previous paper. How have you been doing with the research process so far this semester? What has been easy, and what kind of difficulties are you encountering? Next, how can you address those difficulties as you move forward in writing project 3? And then finally, discuss what types of sources are valued for a formal academic essay and which types of sources you should probably be avoiding. In step 7 here, you're going to write a research proposal. One of the main things you're going to need to do for writing project 3 is select one of these 5 directions to go in. Economic or political, research, or like an historical approach, an artistic analysis, a family exploration, or this more like digital communication-based option. And there are descriptions of each of those here, as well as on the assignment sheet. What you're going to do is you're going to write a short 1 to 2 page essay addressing these prompts. So first of all, explain your topic to the average reader and discuss why you are personally interested in that subject. Then take an hour and conduct some preliminary research. How much or how little can you find? And discuss how easy or hard your research seems like it's going to be. Number 3, discuss your possible focus for this paper. What do you want to focus on? What do you want to argue? And ultimately, what are you trying to say or to convey to your reader? And then finally, think about the next month of your life and discuss how this research process, how this workload is going to fit into your existing schedule. In step 8, you're going to post to the discussion board. Your first post is due Thursday at 11:59. In a paragraph or two, discuss what is most interesting to you about this project and what concerns you have about tackling a long research essay. And then your second post is due Saturday at 11:59. I'd like you to comment on your peers' ideas. What do you think about them? Do you know anything about their topics? Do you have any suggestions for their research or for the direction of their paper? And finally, step 9 is just submitting your work. You're going to be submitting all of the writing that you completed for step 6, which is the planning for research step here. Actually, that might be, I'm thinking I maybe made a typo there because you should also be posting what you wrote for step 7. Yeah, so I'll need to take a look at that, and I'll send out an email if these instructions are wrong. Anyways, if you think of any questions or concerns, feel free to let me know.